What's up everybody, how's it going? It's Berk, aka Dansgate here, and welcome back to this playthrough of the Final Fantasy X Masters mod by Karifean. Please remember to like the video, and I hope you have lots of fun in the chat. Let's get going with this week's episode. So I'm still trying to think, is there a better way to start the fight off? If I could just survive that Wakizashi it does, then everything would be different. And that's why part of me wants to move on to a different fight first, and I still might. But, because then I could just come in and full break from the first turn, but at the moment I can't do it. And that kind of messes things up. Part of the reason I want to do it is just in the hopes that maybe I gain enough sphere levels or something from the fight. I'm still worried that we're not going to gain anything, but obviously as Yojimbo gets stronger every time you fight it, well, normally it would get faster in terms of its overdrive charge, but here at least it's going to probably get stronger in some way, and probably not just faster. Let's try a different approach. Yeah, it's a pointless strat. Dude, Orin can't survive Wakizashi anyway. So why bother? Sorry, Kozuka. No, we can. Fine. Okay, that worked kind of well. Basically what I was hoping to do. Now we need to delay Buster. Now we need to full break. Okay, worked. Lulu has the best protection for the next move in terms of her armor. Yeah. Just thinking how best to handle this. I've got like the quote unquote free turn. Tidus doesn't get a turn, obviously, again, because he used the delay buster. As I keep saying, it comes at a cost. Alright, let's just see what's going to happen here. So Riku should be able to deal with this. Get these in. So after this one, it's going to be Kozuka again. So Orin's going to try and be ready for that. Just to make sure we get in here. I think at the moment it's just anything, doesn't matter. Okay. This should charge the overdrive as well. He just about died. That was really close. Okay. So we have a few options here, but I'm not sure if any of them are particularly good. think. Yeah, mix is just too slow. Then this will help her survive the next move. And then I think we pile on some more demis. So it's most progress we managed to make, I think, basically at this point. Got it below half. Is there anyone in haste that can stay in haste? Yeah, no quick hit type stuff for him. Just not quick enough again. We're already definitely doing better, but not quite enough yet. I think just to keep it moving here. This is not ideal. But I just wish Oren countered that. It would have been really nice, but I think we should probably put alchemy on that one, honestly. Let's do this. Let's try a Thundaga, see how we're doing. Just really need to haste her up. 21,000, not bad. So we're going to have a counter coming in. Nice, good hit. Okay. Let's just do this. It's going to be Dokusashi next anyway. So finally starting to get a little bit more control here. And it's obviously Riku doing a lot of heavy lifting with her new weapon. I think in general he's in a good place here. Okay. Oh shit, it was Bazooka. I swear it was Dokusashi. Wow. I got a bit lucky there. Bring Oren back. There we go. Okay. First Dark Yojimbo win. Now, for me, if I end up getting nothing from this, because he kind of doesn't want you to farm this, because obviously this would mean you can do this fight again, then maybe I'll reconsider. But that's not the case. He probably just has a way to make him not spawn again. So that's good. Alright. Okay, now we're talking. I think that was a good start. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Now we're talking. Okay, we obviously have a double break damage limit here, which is a bit much. But, yeah, we're balling with that. What would you even add to this? We also got some more stamina tablets, actually. Right? So things are really opening up. That's why I wanted to go after this one. I felt like it could be good. So there you go. Look at that. So this, I think, more so than anything else, means we can kind of at least use it more in battle as well to double our HP. So that's good. What was the other thing I got? I definitely saw the stamina tab. I think maybe... maybe it was Healing Springs I got? It might have been. Right. Whatever the case, that was a big, big win. And you see what happens when you get an armor? When you get an armor, like, everything just changes. Oh, shit. I did not see this. No. No. I didn't see that. Oh, I'm such an idiot. I don't want it. Can I take it back? Can I take it back? Where did I warp her to? Oh, no. I'm still not used to... I've just never been able to get used to like all of the different customization options. Because obviously a lot of them are different items to what they used to be, and you can customize things you couldn't have customized before, or in different ways, but I would have 100% preferred to have 1 MP cost on a weapon. 100%. Shit, man. Maybe I add 1 MP cost to this. Shit. But since we have this, maybe we can build some kind of... It's just kind of a little bit all over the place. In some ways, you know? Because I'm like, yeah, okay, I can try to make a new thing for Lulu. I don't know, you have something like this, and then you add 1 MP cost to it, and then you add magic plus 30 to it, and then that's sort of a whole bunch of stuff, but then, like, what do you cover, what do you not cover? That's why I'm still, I think at this stage I prefer to go on like a fight-by-fight basis. I think that's how I prefer to... Oh. Well. Do you really have to win 5 times in a row? Seen it on the map and then... Shit. So does this platform not work? Oh man. But is there an autosave? There probably is not, right? That's big trouble. But that means that before getting into all of this, I wonder if I should... I think I'd have to... I think, you know what, actually, now that I think about it, my save, I think I can go back for that 1 MP cost. I think I can load an earlier save, because all of this stuff that I did, I basically started here, no? And then I just went 1, 2, 3. So yeah, I think I can just load up the save after Omega Weapon. And then just do this stuff again. And then I'd have to beat Dark Yojimbo again, but at least it would be kind of worth it. So I think that's what I'm actually going to do, because that 1 MP cost is just too big. I think I can't not have it. Yes, Ultima's nice and having these and stuff, but I think I would have beaten Dark Yojimbo without these, I'm pretty sure. And well, I could just do something else instead. So I'm going to keep the Warp Sphere. I think I need to keep 2 of them. So for now, what I will do, just to see the nature of how this fight is going to play out, I just want to see what changes, and then I think I'm going to have to do this section again. It's the first time where I'm like, yeah, I'm straight up going to go back because I think it's worth it. Literally going to get delay buster for her as well. This stage. So this has gone completely off the rails here, but whatever. Since we're not allowed out of here, and I'd have to give up this save, I just want to see what the next fight is going to look like, but I'll still be prepared for it in the meantime. I feel like Riku, with the weapon that the armor that I've created for her, she could pull off potentially some delay buster action. Yeah, I also have to remember to come in here with enough red spheres. That's also another reason it's probably not worth being here at this point in time. Yeah, so there's all of this that I can't properly cash in on. That's kind of funny. So I would have basically wanted to come back in anyway. But let's have a look. Well, I guess that means MP-wise you don't get any more MP either. So this place is rough, to say the least. But I'm still going to trigger this next fight anyway. I don't know if it's literally the same fight 5 times and just seeing if you can go the distance. Where's the other versions? Was there only 1 fight against him? Or is there only 2? Maybe he doesn't want you to fight him 5 times. Maybe it's 3 times. What's going to happen here? Well, this is a bit of a surprise. We only need to fight him twice. I will try to beat him the second time. And then probably still reload the save, like just go back a notch anyway. Wasn't expecting this. There you go, okay. So maybe 3 fights. Yeah, because they did say different move every time. It's not an ambush this time, which is good. Fine. Let's just do this anyway. Does he become more evasive every time? I don't know. It's going to use a Wakizashi first. Yeah, I failed anyway. Oh, she survived with 32. Let's go. Still game over, but, well, that's ridiculous. That's a crazy save. That's an absolutely ridiculous save. I'm still going to bring in Auron for a Sentinel here. Wow. Cannot believe I'm alive. Shouldn't be. Ooh. Yeah, that's nasty. Okay, let's go back to this. Yeah, it's looking like 3 fights most likely. This time we need 4 hits. Whatever the case may be, I just about got in. Let's try and hang in here. Yeah, Lulu had the perfect armor for that, but not anymore. Alright, let's Demi Fury. And I'm curious to see how these hits are going to stack up. I guess if all of them count separately, then it's a very bad choice. But let's find out. No, they're not. Okay, good. Plenty of damage there. Yeah. Really nasty. But last time I was suspicious that it's going to take 4 hits now, and I think that might be the case. Yeah, it's going to be 4 hits. Oof, Dark Yojimbo is truly, truly brutal. Okay, so I think I'm going to wrap up this session here. What I will do is load the save that I made after beating Omega Weapon. And then I'll be able to correct. Basically, I won't be taking Riku to Ultima. It's not like I used it. We just don't have the MP right now anyway. And I think without double cast, it's just not as effective. So I'll kind of reclaim that, and then we'll come back to Dark Yojimbo in the next sesh. Okay, my friends, welcome back to this commentary playthrough of the Final Fantasy X Masters Mod by Karifean. We're going to start the session nice and chill in Besaid, because things were pretty hectic at the end of the last session. We were stuck inside the Cavern of the Soul and Faith trying to beat Dark Yojimbo and basically run the gauntlet. We had a rude awakening when we realized there's no save sphere in there, so we can't even restore HP and MP, and we have to defeat Yojimbo multiple times before we're allowed to exit and do anything from there. And that led to its own problems, because I realized I don't have enough red spheres to even cash in on the levels that I obtain in there. And so that was already kind of a bit crap, because I assumed that you're going to need to kind of cash in those levels to really improve your chances in the upcoming fights. And also, I kind of didn't realize that the warp spheres that you get from Omega Weapon can be used to customize 1 MP cost, which is something that I've been talking about for quite some time. So I was like, hold up, we've only done 1 out of probably 3 Dark Yojimbo fights. Before I get any more invested into this, I'm not going to have time in this session to run the gauntlet anyway. I kind of had to stop recording, and I don't really have a way to kind of basically stop the game there, like save state or anything. And so I was like, you know what, let's just call it quits here. Let's go back. Let's just reload the save after Omega, as I keep getting pushed around by everyone here. I kind of forgot so many people come into this bit. It's quite busy. Pretty cool. Yeah, so I was like, I can just restart here. It's not exactly a big deal. It's just like a little bit of sphere grid work and some customization, or not even that really. Yeah, I think some stuff that I got from the shop. But other than that, we should be able to get back up to speed pretty quickly. And the reason I want to do that is that I might also potentially consider trying Dark Bahamut first, because of the whole gauntlet thing that Yojimbo is now kind of a part of. It was always a bit of a gauntlet anyway, but it's been really solidified now with the removal of the pedestal and the save sphere and all that kind of stuff. And so I'm thinking, is Dark Yojimbo more difficult than Dark Bahamut? Because you'd think in terms of acquisition order, Yojimbo is acquired after Dark Bahamut, and so he's probably going to be a bit more difficult. So Karifean says you can basically do those bosses in any order you like, but that doesn't mean that one of them might not be a bit more difficult than the other. So I might have a look at Dark Bahamut first. So, unfortunately, we're going to have to rewind a bit. I always feel a bit bad when I have to do a lot of like menu / sphere grid work, but from the premieres and stuff, there's definitely been sessions where I've spent like 15 minutes or something just purely showing customization and sphere grid and stuff, and people kind of, they understand how necessary it is, and it's just part of the experience. And you guys are all kind of Final Fantasy X nerd enough to appreciate those things too. So it's going to probably be a little bit of that as well. But I will edit out any, obviously, kind of extended periods of just thinking and not doing very much. Now, what I know is that we are increasingly limited in where we can go in the sphere grid. We definitely had some moments of freedom, and we now have warp spheres, which is of course the ultimate freedom. But if I want to use them for 1 MP cost, which I'm really leaning towards right now, I only have 1 return sphere. Because these guys, I can activate them to kind of warp to a different part with the help of a return sphere. And so that means that whatever paths we're on, we're kind of stuck there for now. And for some characters, that might not be a good thing. So I need to have a look at this. I'm really just not going to invest in luck for Lulu. Maybe it makes her evasion chances a little bit higher, but honestly, she's at 17 base. And it costs 4,000 for each fortune sphere, so I just don't have the funds. So for some of them, they're easy. Let's just handle the easy ones first. Because Lulu's going to stay on that path, I think, basically indefinitely at this point. Maybe if we get some kind of black magic sphere, she can learn Ultima for some kind of double cast Ultima action. But for now, I think we're good. Riku is one that I think we're going to have another look at, so I'm going to leave her for now. Waka, I was messing around with some stuff, like bringing him over to Titus' portion of the grid, which I don't think is the worst idea. Giving him something like Delay Buster is kind of nice, but I do think especially like as we go towards the end of the game, less and less enemies are going to be susceptible to delay. I think it's built into the Dark Yojimbo fight, and that's why we're allowed to do it. But like if I start him off here, as I say, only 1 character can make a big move. And so, like, it's not a bad part of the grid for him to be on. I wouldn't mind him coming back up through these bits. But it's at the cost of, obviously, like, for example, Riku being able to do the same. So there's definitely some decisions to make for this bit. And as I've said before, Karifean has said that for this kind of stuff, it is possible to basically make, like, bad/wrong decisions. A lot of the game has been pretty open so far, and that's what I've really enjoyed about it. Like, there's often times you can't really go wrong, as long as you have some kind of decent logic. And, well, if you're playing the Final Fantasy X Masters mod, you probably have some experience and understanding of how the game works. And so, in general, if you kind of use your head and make some generally decent moves, you should be fine, no matter what you do. But this bit especially, I think there's probably a chance that you could put someone into a section of the grid that's really not useful for them, and they could be stuck there, and that could really affect the outcome of these final kind of most difficult boss battles where the stakes are going to be the highest. So we'll have to see how that goes, and that's why I'm trying my best to give it like extra thought here and be really careful. It's literally the first time I've reloaded a save to have a look at this stuff again. The only reason I did it was because I had the save after Ultima. After Omega. I don't think I would have gone back and fought like Omega again, or like if I had multiple bosses to do something different, I think I would have just left it. But this was literally some sphere grid work and going to the shop, and so I didn't mind reloading that. So yeah, we are in a good place. Like, Yuna's in prime position now to have some kind of 1 MP cost and like magic booster weapon or something, because now she can double cast Ultima. But ordinarily, like, the MP requirements are so insane that without 1 MP cost, I feel like it's going to be a bit unlikely. So yeah, that leaves, I think, Auron, we're just going to have to leave him where he is as well, I think. We're going to keep him like that for now. I'm going to buy the Fortune Sphere like I did last time. I'm going to keep that the same. And I think for me, it's between Waka, Tidus, and Riku in terms of where we go from here. So Tidus, basically what I don't want to do is continue him along this path, because this takes him towards the start of Yuna's grid. And she, well, He has a pretty finite amount of space here anyway, and a lot of it is just, I think, not useful to him. So it's not a good route. Other route is backtracking over to here, which is, of course, a waste of valuable, precious sphere levels for one. And two, yes, we get a little stat block here for strength, but outside of that, it would take him a long time to potentially get any more strength. With the caveat that we can potentially get a use, but... I mean, if we do the maths, if we get 3 more from Bahamut, let's say we go the backtrack route, we're going to start here. 1 more is basically going to get us, like, here, or something. Let's just say, after Dark Bahamut, he can get to here. Like, best case. Here or here, best case. Then we got Dark Yojimbo, so he gets, like, I think 9 sphere levels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then it's already just Dark Anima, Dark Maga Sisters, and Penance. So 2 more fights from which you can basically level up before you fight Penance. So then it'd be 1, 2, 3... I don't know if he's made the Dark Maga Sisters... I mean, you have to assume in a challenge mod they're always together. But I don't think he's making it to use, for example, so we won't have use against Penance. It could be useful, who knows. So I'm just trying to map out like what's left, because of the way the mod works, you do have a bit more kind of... You roughly know what you're going to be getting. We've been getting 3 sphere levels for every, like, basically major post-game boss. So you can start to figure that out. Now, Riku... I don't want to leave like her agility and magic on the table. And what I mean by that is, yes, by using Copycat, she can definitely do some nice magic damage, and she's been super useful for that. But I'd love to have some magic of her own to use. But I think it might be a bit too much of an ask. Because obviously in order to do it, we'd have to, for example... She'd have to learn double cast first, I feel. And that's already a problem. Like, she can't get over to double cast. So I think it's probably going to have to be... I'm going to have to rely on her Copycat, I think. I can't do too much. And another Dispel might be nice, honestly. I think she'll definitely have enough sphere levels to get Dispel. And having another character that can naturally do it, I think would be nice. So I think... We're just going to have to stick with it for Riku. That's my plan for now. I'm going to do that. Not going to get that strength. But do I want any purple spheres? Because of her full break ability, I'm just thinking, like, if we give her some more luck, really try and make sure she hits everything. Waka doesn't have full break, and he's kind of moving away from it at this stage. Attack. Full break, it's all the way over there. Yeah. Yeah, this is the stage where we have a lot of different options, but we have very limited ways to, like, a limited number of them that we can actually utilize. There's a lot that could be done. I think the one I'm most worried about is Tidus, honestly. Either we're just going to have to accept the fact that the most strength he's going to have is basically 84, and he'll top out at 84, because I think if I commit to basically having him start backtracking, I think that's it. He's not going to improve anymore from there. So that's one thing. The final thing I'm kind of curious about is actually this middle bit here, the place where Kimari begins. It could be pretty interesting to move a character here, one that's basically, they got most of the abilities they need, but we just need some raw stats. So, like, let's say, if I give up Evade Encounter, I can definitely make some more moves. And honestly, I might give up Evade Encounter. Like, we've managed okay without it so far. And I think every boss is designed to be beaten without Evade Encounter, including Dark Shiva. That was just like a nice bonus, but I think as long as we tank stuff and counter-attack, we'd be okay. I think most bosses are going to have moves that you probably can't evade from this point forward. So what you could do is move him here, grab some more luck, And that would help him hit stuff as well, of course. Then you would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you grab that extra chunk of defense and strength and luck. Scan Lancet, at least you could get some MP back. And then if you really wanted to, you could try to make a move back through here to gain some HP. So it's an option. It's an option, but I don't love it. So I've got to think really hard about this one. So I think basically I'm going to commit with Riku. I think that's a start. We're going to do this. Because I need to commit to something. Otherwise we're not going to move along here. I think it's going to be between Waka and Tidus. So whose skill set do I need to prioritize more, or is there anything that I can do to expand their skill set a little further? Like the backtrack, I think doesn't really teach Tidus anything that I think could be that useful. Because I just don't think we're going to get to use. It's too far. Waka, if I stay along here, he's just not getting any more strength. Which I'm not happy about. He will, but it will take a while. I think it's time to look at the old agility chart. Old Faithful. The next tier is at 35, so Auron is one kind of activation away. Waka needs to get to 44. And like here, he's never hitting another stage of agility, basically. He's stuck at this agility level for the rest of the whole thing. So that's why I'm a bit torn on how to deal with him. Like, does he really need that much more HP? We can double up and get to quad 9 if we really want. I think I'm leaning more towards Waka here. Tidus doesn't exactly have amazing agility himself, but he'll get to 44 here, so he'll make it to the next tier. And then from 44, you have to go all the way up to 62 to get another one. And I have a feeling that's probably not going to happen. The only character who can, and probably should, is Riku. But even for her, I don't think she's going to get there. We'd have to move her. I feel like at least having one character in that 62 zone at tick speed 5 is going to be useful. The game rounds down in auto haste. She'll basically have effectively a tick speed of 2, no? And that'll be basically almost one away from... That'll be one away from the top tier tick speed. So these are the kind of things I'm trying to think about in advance before moving along. Yes, I would like another Dispel, but honestly, considering that context, I'm like, is it better to move Riku? At least we'd get her a fast spell that she can use by herself, more MP, and then she'd get up to 58 agility here, and then we'd hit the magic 62 at some point. And well, there's a lot of HP here for her too. So obviously doing that resigns Waka to his fate of being stuck on this agility level as well, which I don't like. But I think for now, let me at least do this. This will narrow it down a little more. So Tidus is a bit faster now. And now it's between Waka and Riku. Yes, you could use a Warp Sphere, but For now, at least, I'm holding off that. Maybe I shouldn't have even progressed this then. Does she really need the extra magic? I don't think she does. I might reload this save again. Move her here. It's just a shame we don't have any level 3 locks. I don't know what's going to give us that, if anything. Maybe nothing gives it in the game. But this is basically like a sprint to try and get to 62 agility as quickly as possible. So we'd be here, and then 1, 2, and we'd be up to 58, which would make no meaningful impact. But then we'd beat Bahamut, hopefully, and we'd go 1, 2, 3. And then we'd beat Yojimbo 1, and we'd go 1, 2, 3. And then we'd beat Yojimbo 2, and we'd go 1, 2, 3. And then we'd beat Yojimbo 3 and go 1, 2, 3. It's just a really nice stat block that either Riku needs to benefit from or Waka needs to benefit from. So let's do the run with Waka. See what happens with him. We take him there. He'd learn Holy, which yes, like he could, but it's kind of pointless. But whatever. We do that, and then we go 1, 2. And that would take him to 43, unfortunately, so he wouldn't benefit. 1, 2, 3, 3. Yeah. But I don't think there's any part of the grid that Waka could go to where that would give him 2 very quick agility spheres that would help him get up to anything. Obviously, same deal with Waka in terms of we could also move him to this portion of the grid. Get him 6 more luck immediately, plus a scan. But again, we have the agility problem here. Like, he just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These are only plus 1s. 9, 10. He'd basically have to get to about here. And that's like 10 sphere levels. I'm going to inspect literally every white magic node that he could move to, and I'm just going to see if any of them offer 2 like very quick agility spheres next to each other, like very close proximity. So then this all is just out of reach, so I could warp him here. Then I'd need to use 1 to activate here, so he's got 1 left. The next one would take him back here. And then he'd get 3 from Bahamut. 1, 2, 3. And then he'd be short. But if you could just move him here, and you go 1, 2, 2 here, and then 1, 2, 3 from Bahamut, you'd be able to get that one. So you can kind of get either one, but you can't get both. Okay, I have pondered this for quite some time. And here's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to go to Heiska. Also so I can grab the luck. And then basically just set him off back towards like the other side. Like from the back side of Titus' grid. It won't be giving him as much strength, but at least there's something there. And I don't mind having like a second character to use Heiska in a pinch. So I'm going to try that. So now we can finally utilize the shop. What I also want to do is potentially sell some stuff. Let me sort this out. I do think I can probably sell the Razzmatazz at this stage. Like Sleep Touch is not going to get it done. So at least gives me a little more money. I'm also trying to do my best to not assume that a certain boss will be immune to something, just because we've been on a bit of a string of they're immune to everything except poison and zombie in terms of status effects. It doesn't mean it'll be the same for the rest. So, like this one I think I can get rid of. These Eater armors might have like a... Sorry, Eater weapons could definitely have a unique usage case. There's a whole different strat in terms of obviously customizing like Fire Strike or having them heal with magic and that kind of thing, definitely could be usable. But now I haven't gone down that road, but we'll see. We just don't get a lot of gil. I mean, it's dark proof and poison proof, and you get 318 back. It's pretty harsh. Yeah, I don't want to get rid of too much here, just in case. You just never know. This one, I feel like surely at this stage you don't need. But most stuff is worth so little that it's probably worth hanging on. Most of this stuff can't even pay for like a fortune sphere. So. Okay, so I'm not going to buy any of these for now. But what I will do is, so let's sort this out. Just make sure we're never going to run out of that stuff. I think 2 for now. Purple spheres are really just like, if I get completely stumped on a fight and I need to figure out like what's the minimum amount of defense I need to survive, then we'll have a look. But for now, at least, I'm not going to buy any. Alright, so Waka can do that as well. And we'll begin the path. So that agility is not going to matter just yet, but at least in the future, after Dark Yojimbo Fight 1, we'll be able to make it work. Okay. So I think we'll leave it at that for now. It's already taken me quite some time to wrestle with and try to come up with another idea. But I do have more flexibility than I did last time. I've still got my warp spheres, at least. And so what I think I will do for this sesh, I will head to Dark Bahamut first. And I'll see if I have more of a chance against him. And that might give us a few more options for Dark Yojimbo. We might be able to do it without that auto haste armor, that kind of thing. So, Dark Bahamut first. Let's go. I mean, maybe Dark Bahamut's worse. Obviously, we don't know, but there's only one way to find out. Alright, here we are. Now, the good thing about Bahamut is it's a nice quick fight to restart. Now, this time, this is obviously because I've rewound the clock slightly, I haven't cashed in on this one yet. So we're just going to wait. We're going to see kind of what we have to deal with. Normally, I think slow is a big factor in this fight. It can be statuses, that kind of stuff. So we'll kind of just stick with that for now, and then we'll just obviously see how we go. There's only one way to find out. I'm going to stick with Comrade Overdrive. And we'll stick a save in here before we start to meddle with things. And then we'll get going. One of my favorite bosses, just in terms of like the design as well. Obviously, any boss that takes place in this arena and with this soundtrack, I have a lot of love for anyway. That just, it does a lot of heavy lifting. But Dark Bahamut's design, like the color inversion on him just looks particularly dope. I think it's awesome. I didn't even check my front line. I got too excited by the prospect. Okay, at least Titus was there. We got that right. So, surprisingly slow, but I think there's probably a reason for that. Now, the counter, the impulse counter, was obviously one of the most deadly things, and the kind of thing that if you're unprepared and inexperienced with the game, the impulse counter can completely destroy you, especially if you don't check what happens as a result of it. So, time for the good old notepad to come out here. Attempt number 1. We're going to have to start learning some things. Now we're going to have to learn fast. So, usually Sentinel and counterattack strats always worked well against Dark Bahamut. And we'll see if that's going to help in this one. Okay. Uses 2 actions on his turn. And there you go. There's your answer for why, even with Auron, when he's hasted up, he can get 2 turns between Dark Bahamut. So, fine. I think, since it's attempt 1, let's just get this done, so we can see what we're dealing with. 800,000. Okay, we're creeping up towards the million. Uses extremely strong elemental magic. Oh, shit. Changing his element of choice with elemental change. Impulse dispels all positive statuses. Ah, so this guy has 2 attacks back to back, and it uses Impulse, which dispels all positive statuses. So if you try to kind of prep before it, he could destroy you. And I think... Let me just hold on, one thing at a time. What is he not immune to? Starters. I think it's probably going to be the usual suspects here, which is poison, breaks, and zombie. What about threaten, actually? I don't think he's immune to threaten. That's kind of weird. So not immune to threaten. I forgot if delay appears as like a thing here. If an enemy is immune to slow, are they automatically also immune to delay? I forgot how that worked. Like, does it appear as its own thing? But that magic stat of 120. I think what he's saying is like you have to survive these spells. Sorry, that as in you can't survive these spells. I think is what he's saying. But you have to find another way. Sheesh. So at least he didn't counter that. I think let's just begin with some Sentinel here. Because he hasn't done an elemental shift just yet. So, let's see. Right, let's see what we're going to do. We've got elemental change. Start here. And then the second move. Okay. Good Sentinel. So we have elemental change plus attack. So that's the first kind of duo. I probably have all of the breaks on me or some shit already here. Slow and curse. Okay. I have a mind to give Auron my second auto haste armor someday, like auto haste and energy preserver for him as well, so he can't be slowed and he can't be broken. So for now at least, oh, he landed the poison. Nice. That's a benefit. Auron with a nice start. Now, he also connected on the hit. Now, Bahamut was the phase where once you're playing the vanilla game, you really start to get a feel for how much luck starts to matter. You start missing a lot when you're trying to hit Dark Bahamut if you haven't done any luck work. So the fact that even Auron hit him is a good sign that maybe Full Break will work too. So let's wait for it here. That's cheeky, man. So one thing I was thinking was obviously if you know what element is coming up, you have a chance of maybe putting some null spells on, doing some of that stuff. But the sensor, like the scan information, vanishes again after it selects, so you don't know. Yeah, that's mean. So maybe it means we can do it again. So I think maybe this is going to be a little bit of a game of trying to keep using scan to track what's happening. So Kimari might be a bit more useful. So so this means that it's going to use ice magic, surely. It's absorbing ice. Okay. Interesting. Now we're in a difficult place here because... also... all of this stuff. Karifean, man, he's a sneaky boy. Obviously, immediately I'm starting to think, well, your options are... you do have some options, but they're relatively limited. One option is potentially using Reflect, but if you cast it, and it's not an auto ability or an SOS ability, then he's going to use Impulse first. There's no doubt. He's going to use Impulse to get rid of any of your buffs, and then he's going to absolutely destroy you with the elementals afterwards. So anything you cast is going to kind of be irrelevant. You need to be down in SOS HP. You need to survive Impulse too. and then you'll be safe. Because I think there's also going to be the whole thing of, if it does 2 attacks back to back, it might be the case that you can't use his impulse to activate the SOSs, because I'm sure he's aware of that type of trick. I used it a little bit against Seymour, for example, Seymour Flux, where he did, I forgot the name of the move now, but the one that hit everybody and reduced their HP, and I kind of used that as a way to bring me down to SOS without me having to do anything. But I think that's not going to be an option for us here. So you have to be ready and prepped and in SOS before it begins. Sheesh, man. How am I supposed to deal with that? So I think we're going to have to just completely come in with a different setup here anyway. It's funny because I prepped for statuses and it ended up being elemental, of course. I mean, Bahamut is broken, so I don't know how much damage Impulse is going to do. You just know that there's going to be some kind of impulse. I don't think he uses it as a counter, it'd be too easy. Because then you could probably just literally beat him with counters of your own. So what we're going to do, I think we'll see if a normal fire spell's enough. And I think for Lulu she probably needs a fire. A normal fire might not be enough, but let's just do this. We're going to have to do some serious HP management to make this work. Like, serious HP management. And well, Lulu doesn't have her SOSs equipped anyway, so it's only Yuna. She's the only one who could do it. I think if we use a grenade, we keep the highest amount of HP we can. So only Yuna will survive this probably at best. Okay, yeah, so Impulse first. You could tell that's going to be the strat here. Impulse, 2,537. Shit. Yuna. And then, yeah, and then clobbers you with Element. Shit, man. Yeah, this is trouble. It's trouble because it's hard to detect what's coming unless you scan first, if you have enough turns to do that. You have to really manage your HP very carefully. 2,500 damage with Impulse. Okay. So you have to basically survive the 2,500 while being in SOS HP, which is not great for a lot of us anyway. We need to find out what reduces impulse damage. I think there's got to be a little bit of something. I don't think you can you can't protect and shell, that's obvious. We need to see if we can use cheer or focus to reduce it, because 5 times cheer will bring it more to, like, what, 1,900 range, and then that would make it more possible. I think honestly SOS strats I think kind of rule out Riku from this fight. Because her SOS HP is just too low. So unless she uses a stamina tablet, I think it's too much for Riku to do. So let me see how many we needed for break HP limit again. It's only 2. So I think this might be a fight where we actually deliberately use stamina tablets. That might be a way to kind of bypass that situation. The reason I'm thinking about Riku is because she has this. So she's obviously a good candidate to just kind of permanently have out there. And then maybe just Auron to deal with... yeah. So maybe Auron to deal with any Sentinel work that we can make him do. And then maybe allow him to die from the spells. To charge up Overdrive. So that might be some kind of idea. Let me just put everybody onto their SOSs anyway. It might save my life if I can do that. I think Kimari can also do it. Because he can change to this one. But I still want him for scanning. So... honestly, I think I'm just going to put a sensor on this one. This weapon kind of looks tailor-made for Bahamut. I'm going to double HP for Yuna and for Riku. And then we'll see if we can start to survive using that. And we're going to power up the overdrives quite frequently because Auron's basically going to take the hit every time. Okay, my friends, I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you had fun. And we will see you next week for more from the Final Fantasy X Masters Mod.